All right. I appreciate you guys sitting down with me. I got Mari here from EKU women's basketball team. Big Cole sitting over here from EKU men's basketball team, and it's Black History Month. And I think, as we sit here and we look at the impact that the culture's had on many, I'd like to have, a conversation with you guys and kind of get your thoughts. So, just from the core, like, what's Black History Month mean to you?
I mean, I just feel like for Black History Month, it just shouldn't just be a month. I think it's something that you should be celebrating,
right,
all the time. And I think, like, the biggest focus for me personally is just, like, we talk about this in my family, but just like breaking the generational curse and those mindsets. My great grandparents and grandparents before that, they used to have as kind of like this trapped mindset, and just breaking that and being able to, do things a lot of other people couldn't do back then in my family. So that's like the biggest thing for me.
Right. And it's kind of, we don't celebrate it one month, although it's highlighted this month, but it does spark the conversation, right? And I'm thinking, Big Coz, does that affect your life? Like, how do you see Black History Month?
Oh yeah, I mean, like she said, I don't think it should be an entire month. I think, it's great that we're able to celebrate, these important, individuals throughout, history, these Black people throughout history that just created such an impact for us, as a race and as a culture. And, for me personally, I have, a lot of respect for my great-great-grandfather. We call him Papu. Papu, he is, and even though I never met him, I respect him because of all the stories I heard. Back in like the 1930s, I think he was working as a hired hand for a white guy. And it was about a really big house. I think it was, how do you say, a vineyard or something, where they make kind of like grapes or wine, in the field. So, he owned about like five acres of land. It's pretty big estate. But basically, he, over the years, they became really good friends, just kind of inseparable, throughout until his boss, he had to retire. And so, as a parting gift to him, he gave him the house and the acres of land and everything. So, he raised, my granddad and my dad, in that house, and it's still standing to this day. It actually became, I think, around a couple of years ago, it became like a historical sort of building in Butner, North Carolina.
That's
so
awesome.
So it's crazy. So, I think throughout the years, these, it just, Black History Month, it just means a lot to me. Just, especially having, such important figures do these amazing things, and it seems, insignificant at the time, but, like, it can, grow into something really big.
It's like Mario is saying, breaking that generational mindset and changing things for the future, right? And I think that kind of leads me into just the culture in itself. And how it affects, this nation and the world in a mindset of art, music, literature, and so how do you think the Black culture's affected that as we move forward?
A lot. I wouldn't hesitate to say that, in terms of mainstream, like hip hop, rap, pop, even like with sports, NBA, football, you see, Black culture everywhere. I say it's probably the most influential culture when it comes to that mainstream entertainment.
Sure.
And, just, and media and stuff like that. I'd say it's probably the most influential culture, in this day and age. It's inspired and influenced millions of people, no matter what race. So, the fact that we've been able to branch out, this much is just really telling to, what we are as a culture.
Sure. And I think that applies to all of us in a way that we're able to, dissect that and, see the impact. And I mean, have you seen some of that in your career as well?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of going off what Big Coz was saying, but I mean, specifically, like, I would say, like, he's talking about, like, sports and everything. Like, I think about, like, Allen Iverson, like, with the braids, like, Dennis Rodman, the colorful hair, Michael Jordan, like, with the shoe. I mean, you got Jordans on, just all those different things. Like, you see it everywhere. So that's, like, a huge impact, like you were saying, mainstream and everything.
I mean, you think of at the time when Allen Iverson was doing that, he probably, had to withstand some adversity, and as far as why is he wearing his hair that way? Well, now a million people wear their hair that way, and the attitude that he brought to the game. But I think it also has changed the way a lot of people can see the culture as well. I mean, when we look at your teammates and you look at your classmates, and not everyone looks the same, I feel like Black History Month really opens up that conversation. Have you experienced that through your journey of athletics?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Even like at one of my past schools, I mean, we would sit down and, like you're saying, literally have like group talks and group conversations about like, you know, certain things that, you know, we in like Black people may see it one way, but you know, other ethnicities and people might see it a different way. So we just had like a huge kind of table talk about that, about just like, you know, different ideas and mindsets and like why certain people think this way and what you've been through, what I've been through, and
right.
how that makes that, you know, us different.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And having those conversations makes the team stronger, right?
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
you know, I see, you know, specifically you guys after a ball game, somebody might get the belt of victory, right? When that's going on, I don't think anyone's seeing what you look like or how you act. It's all about the success of the team. So have you seen some of the same things through your journey of athletics?
Oh, for sure. You know, I think, you know, Black History Month being so influential, especially on this team, you know, there's just so many, you know, players that care, and you know, we talk about it a lot, especially, you know, when Black History Month comes around. Even players that aren't Black, you know, they want to learn and want to know just, you know, what's, you know, the important, you know, Black figures in history, or maybe just, you know, about our culture and stuff like that. So, you know, I think, you know, overall as a team, you know, it just brings us that much closer together. You know, just the fact that, you know, we can all sort of vibe and talk about the same conversation.
Sure. So I think we all agree, you know, regardless it being a month, we think it extends a lot longer than that. But I am glad that we can focus, and there is some time allocated to, you know, not only our journeys, but the history that led to where we are. So I really appreciate you guys in the conversation. I enjoyed it, and good luck this week and the rest of the season.
Thank you.